Hello. Hopefully this tutorial will help you in anonymously peer reviewing a manuscript in one of my upper level science classes like biochemistry 1 and 2, organic chemistry, the capstone course, and many of the special topics courses. Okay, this is based off of the way that you can professionally anonymously peer review a manuscript. Now granted, the journal article that may ask you to peer review something won't necessarily send you an Excel rubric and have you do it the same method that I have you do it in the same format. The principles behind it will be much the same. The purpose of anonymous peer reviews here, it really ties into one of the goals or the tenets for our college here at the College of Natural and Health Sciences at Southeastern University, because we want you to be able to write proficiently in technical and scientific data, as well as publicly and verbally portray the data, which is something I'm not doing, not doing myself very well at this time. But the other purposes for the anonymous peer reviews really are to provide thoughtful, positive feedback to the author in order to strengthen his or her manuscript, to increase your scientific knowledge, of course, and also to increase your technical writing capabilities. As I mentioned, we really pride ourselves on the fact that our graduates typically have very, very strong writing skills. So let's get started. First off, you're going to want to read the manuscript. There's no way to get by without reading the manuscript. Many times I read the abstract first. I look at the figures and the figure legends, which should be the reason why you want in-depth figure legends, so that way the person who can look at it knows exactly what's going on being portrayed in the figure. Then I go back and I reread the entire paper. So, how do you critique a peer's manuscript and especially anonymously comment on it? And it's really going to depend upon the format that the file was submitted. And I strongly urge everyone to use PDF files, okay, if at all possible, over Microsoft Word, since the different platforms and the different versions of Word may skew the placement of your figures. So let's just look at an example. This is of a previous student. His paper from a biochemistry 2 class was on the metabolic pathway of nicotine biosynthesis. And, of course, you'd read over the paper, but I'm just going to show you how to leave the anonymous comments and everything on it. Right, one thing is, let's go through his abstract, his introduction. Let's say that we want to leave a comment on a specific figure or something like that. Okay, so here, in this version of Adobe Acrobat, what I do is I like to highlight the text. Then if you right-click on it, on something that you've highlighted, you can put open pop-up note. Notice it's got my name on it, but I don't want that would not be anonymous. So if we click on that and we go to Properties, General, we can change the author. I like doing something kind of humorous, so we'll be the Pied Piper. I'm going to have that the default on this one. And then you can leave your comment. Strong figure. For example, maybe you want to say strong figure. You could use more in-depth description within the figure legend, though. That's one way to leave a comment. Another way is, instead of doing the highlight, is if you use a sticky note. Once again, there's a sticky note that just makes it look like a little comic book strip thing there. And once again, you can leave your comment on something. But I definitely prefer the highlighting of the text. Okay. Another thing is, when you go to save it, hit Save As, of course. And you want to make sure that whatever you call it, that it doesn't come up with there saying that you are the author of it, okay, which I'm going to hit cancel. So that's if it was a PDF file. What happens if it's Microsoft Word? Now the way that it shows up may be a little different in each version of Word or the platform that you're using. So I'm going to have to show you the way that it looks on my computer. So here's an example of another paper. It's a pretty good paper from, once again, this is biochemistry. But if you want to leave a comment on it, I like to highlight, right-click, and then just hit New Comment. But if you notice, once again, it has my name. And so we don't really want that to happen. So let me hit Undo. And I'm going to change my account settings options here. And if you notice, under General, under Word Options, there's your username and initials. The Pied Piper initials. Always use those. Hit OK. Now if I wanted to leave a comment, I right click, New Comment, and it says the Pied Piper. Great abstract. But let's say that you forgot how to do this shortcut. We want to do something that maybe you don't understand something. Instead of doing right click, if you go up here to review, you can hit New Comment. I find this confusing. What have you. Don't save. Finally, you're going to be asked to write in Excel or fill out an Excel rubric. And I want to make sure that you're filling it out correctly. So you use the rubric for the assignment. And many times, see, this is one where if you open it, you're going to see where I put the instructions here with each part of it many times. Whoops. All right, see. And what you can do is, once again, either notice this now, since I'd already changed my options in Word, if I go ahead and I just open up the Excel sheet, it's going to remember the Pied Piper part. Or you can go change it again. And you do it much the same through, if it's with Microsoft Office, you just go up here, account settings, and then in the options. Now, one thing that you want to do, so you can leave comments within the boxes. You can leave comments down here below and just type it in. But I want you to change the actual grades. Okay, I usually give you an Excel sheet where it's already filled out like this for you. First of all, delete my name, if it's there, and put in yours, the Pied Piper. Perhaps you thought this person only scored an 8. It'll automatically figure it for you. They scored a 6 here, so on and so forth. And if you notice, it already changes the grades. Likewise, please go through, because many of us are visual learners, and you can fill in the colors and delete the colors for the part that it doesn't pertain to. And that way we can clearly see where we need to strengthen our paper or where our strong points of the paper are. And please put the student's name in there. Once again, I don't want to save this. Okay? So what you don't do is you don't want to be overly critical. Okay? You definitely need to point out the critiques, where it's strong, where it's not strong. Point out where there are grammatical errors and misspelled words, especially in science, since spell check may not catch or may automatically correct erroneously what some of the scientific terms are. You don't want to be mean. Say, oh, this is the most stupid paper ever. Don't say anything like that, of course. Don't be non-critical either. I really hate those that say 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, or 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, where everything was great, nothing would be changed. No. You don't want to do that. It's not helping the person at all as well. And don't put your name on any of the files. Whenever you hit Save As, which I forgot to show you how to do that, when you hit save as, notice it's got the authors. It has my name again. You can just delete that and add in the Pied Piper, so on and so forth. Which I'm not going to save that because I don't want to mess up my file. And please don't use someone else's name, like one of your classmates' names or my name, as the person critiquing it. That just would be cruel. So, what you do. Oh yeah, just some sophomore music, sophomore humor. Do. So what you do, what you are expected to turn in, is that for every manuscript that you peer review, you need to turn in 3 files. First, you're going to turn in that original PDF or Word file. You may want to save it as something else, of course. And it's going to contain your anonymous comments, suggestions, corrections. You're going to turn in the Excel rubric. Make sure it's correctly filled out. You can include any additional anonymous comments. And you're expected to turn in a brief summary and critique. This can be a Word document or a PDF document. Just make sure that you don't have your name on it. Once again, it's anonymous. It should be 1 to 2 pages max. It's not a major paper. And within this summary, what you're going to do is you need to summarize the manuscript, because you're going to show that you actually read the paper. You're going to state what's both good and bad. Like, what are some of the areas that you didn't understand, and what are some of the areas where you thought the author did a really good job, and give some suggestions for improvement. Now, one thing that I usually ask, or that my students do for each other, in order to show that you're critically thinking about the science behind it, is I want you to ask at least 3 additional questions that the author should address in order to make the manuscript better. So, once again, you want to make sure that for each manuscript, you're going to turn in 3 files. So if you are asked to peer review 2 manuscripts, you're going to turn in 6 files. So, what are we going to do again?
Let's count to 3.
Let's count to 3.
Come on! I see 1, 2, 3. 3 jellyfish. 3. Come on!
So come on. Remember, for each manuscript, you're going to turn in 3 files. 1, 2, 3. The original manuscript with your comments, the Excel rubric with additional comments and correctly filled out, and then the 1 to 2 page summary critique. And hopefully this should be an easy A grade for you if you put the time and effort in to help your fellow students.